All right, on today's Locked On Avalanche podcast, the Avs and Stars go to overtime again, and the Avs find them losing again and find themselves down in the series now, 2-1. Let's talk about it. New episode of Locked On Avalanche coming at you.
Your Locked On Avalanche, your daily podcast on the Colorado Avalanche. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
All right, everybody. Welcome to the Locked On Avalanche podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. I'm your host, Chris Maselli. And with me, as always, Mr. Shaggy Von Doom, Kyle Sullivan. Thank you for tuning in, making this your first listen of the day. It's always appreciated. If you want to get in on the conversation, join our subtext. Link is in the show notes below. Chat with Kyle and I one-on-one. Get your opinion, everything Avalanche related. Share it on this very podcast. They're going crazy over there right now. So we'll get to the subtext comments in a little bit. Obviously, the Avs don't come out on the bright side of this one. Down in the series 2-1. They lose this game 2-1 in overtime for the second game in a row. Ruin Gabe Landeskog's return. Don't they know better? Don't they know that was not what they were supposed to do? This was supposed to be nothing but Avalanche love fest, and they ruined it. They ruined the night, Mr. Sullivan. How dare they?
I'm writing an email right now.
Strongly worded email is going to the Dallas Stars.
To whom it may concern.
Which is nobody over there. So, when you get down, when it's playoff time, emotions run high in terms of, response and how people are feeling about it. And it's anger right now. And it's, doom and gloom. And it's all the things that you say when anger and frustration come out. And I understand that. But didn't we say this was going to be a 7-game series? Didn't everybody say like, oh yeah, this thing is going 7 and, just mark it, book it, put it down. It's going to happen. And then when you lose a couple, it's series is over. So I'm not going there. Did the Avalanche play a good game? No, there were parts of it that were not good. What was it? Putrid? I didn't think so. I thought this was a game between two teams making life very difficult for one another. This was a grind out game where it was tough to come by offense, and defense was pretty solid on both sides. So I'm not going to the nth degree of the Avalanche look terrible. Power play? Yes. Oh, yes. We will talk about that. But it was a tough game. It was a tough game to play. They struggled to find good scoring opportunities. You had moments where it did look good, but that was so few and far between. And when that happens, if you don't take advantage of those opportunities and at least net a goal, you're going to get what you got, which is 1 goal in this game.
Now, and to your points, I know we were talking in our predictions that this will be a long series, but when you see the nature of the last 2 games, it doesn't have to be. And it's a serious lack of, I tweeted it out early. It's a lack of intensity. It's like everyone understands, like Landeskog is back. We are in the playoffs. Everybody that is not playing the game realizes that for the Colorado Avalanche. The Avs are not playing with playoff fire. The Dallas Stars are. That's why they're up 2-1. They have led this playoff series for just little under 70 seconds, and they have a 2-1 lead. It's not so much doom and gloom and everything is terrible, but everything could be so much better. This could be a 3-0 series with Landeskog's return. If it, yes, the power play is horrible. We're going to talk about that in a minute. Arturi Lehkonen missing a wide open net.
It got tipped by a finger. They were a finger away from winning this game.
Jonathan Drouin is
what is up?
Abysmal. Cale Makar, invisible. There are so many players that you want so much. Like Nathan McKinnon, he took 9 shots. He tried. But Nuke finally got on the scoreboard. That was a beautiful goal. Cannot take anything away from that one. But it's a 60-minute game. That is a 10-second clip of a Nuke goal. Like, you've got to have some kind. This has to bother you. when you go back into the
Sure,
locker
sure.
room, that you have done everything good enough and you are trailing the series 2-1 because 2 games, one at Ball, one in Dallas, went to overtime, and you can't let games. You didn't take advantage of a double minor power play. You could not get things set up properly. Bad positioning. We even swapped out EJ for Sam Malinsky. And it does not have to be this way. If you just played with a little bit more energy and fire, it would not have to be this way. And that's the most frustrating thing.
So there's a lot that I kind of want to like say to a lot of that. And not that I disagree with some of it, but other parts of it I might like. I don't buy into the whole like they're not playing with intensity. They're playing differently. They are playing a different game, and I think they are kind of falling into how Dallas wants them to play. Rather than they be the ones forcing the issue and making Dallas adjust to how the Colorado Avalanche play hockey, the Avalanche are saying like, okay, like we'll play this kind of like I almost want to say like timid game of just being like technical, almost too technical, and we don't want it because it feels like the Avalanche are afraid if they do play their game, which is just back and forth, just speed demon, just play the full 200 feet.
Intense. It's intensity.
But it gives you that feeling that intensity is picked up. So because they're not playing that style, I think it's like a misconception that they're not playing like engaged hockey. They are, but it's different. It's almost too technical for them. And it's back to the like have to do everything perfect because we feel like if we screw up, if we get into that just kind of like freewheeling gunslinger style of hockey, and we make a mistake, they're going to pounce on it and they're going to have a puck in the back of the net, which is probably true because they're a good team. So they're playing to how Dallas wants them to play on 5-on-5, with the exception of that first game. Not the first game, they dominated that game on 5-on-5. And for some reason, they've kind of crawled back into like this, we're going to slow things down a little bit. But I also wonder how much of it is, it's probably more than I'm willing to really wanting to admit here, Dallas forcing them to play that way. And it's not, I think it's a combination of like, okay, we'll bite, we'll play that style, being the Avalanche, and really having no choice. Dallas just shuts everything down. They make life difficult for a team that is offensive minded. And this always goes back in every sport, Kyle. What is the mantra? Defense wins championships. And look what Dallas is doing. You pointed out the time that they're leading total in this series. So I don't feel like you can have both of those things, say like the Avalanche are leading for 99% of this series and say they're not putting in the effort. They're leading for most of it. But what Dallas is doing is biding their time, picking their spots, not faltering on defense. And when they have an opportunity, they are sinking them. And when the Avalanche are having an opportunity, a finger is getting in the way. Well, it's just how things are going right now.
Well, I would get that, but this is a depleted Dallas Stars team.
100% right.
We
said that in the beginning. Like the games that these guys are missing with Heiskanen and Robertson, you got to win these games. And
they're not. And you are, if you go paper on paper, roster on roster, like you have eliminated the threat of Mikko Rantanen. Matt Duchene hasn't shown up. Mm-hmm. You're getting beat by Ben and Sagan and Blackwell. Like, and you have Nathan McKinnon, you have Arturi Lehkonen, Natchez, you have Charlie Coyle, you have Brock Nelson, you have an all-star team. Dallas is a good team, I'll give them that, but they have no right dictating the Colorado Avalanche in any form or facet. This team is too deep and too good to play timid. That's why if you flip the switch and get frustrated, you should be frustrated with game 2. At game 3, you should not be getting outshot. They had 3 times as many shots at the end of the first period. This is with Landeskog coming back for the first time in 1,000 days. Like, you should play with intensity, emotion, passion. Like, take the game away from Dallas. You're in Ball Arena. Don't get into your turtle shell. this is spoiler alert. This is what happened last year, and look how that played out for you.
Mhm.
This same unplugging of the power is exactly how you played Dallas last year, and you lost. And it's starting to happen again. Like the Avalanche need to look in the mirror and say, hey, we are so much better than this.
Sure.
Dallas does not get to dictate a single thing. If they had a full roster, they were talking in game 1. Dallas Stars, you brought up the articles that they played their best game in months. Like this, if that's their best game, they should not be dictating the Colorado Avalanche in any form of the game.
You're right. Because like you said, the Stars are the team that are hurting right now injury wise. And that was one of the things that we talked about, or I talked about with Joey on the crossover preview, was he was worried defensively. You know, they're hurting defensively. Doesn't seem like it.
You got
Doesn't seem like it. Like it's
CC, Labushkin, Harley, Lindell, like Kale McCarr, Taser.
You should be making them pay and punish them for being so aggressive. And the Avs just aren't doing that. Like they are like they're doing their weaving through the neutral zone, and then as soon as they get into the offensive zone, it's kicked aside, or it's something happens where it's just fumbled and it's gone the other way. That was what stuck out to me for this game. Is I thought both teams struggled offensively while both teams were good defensively, but the difference offensively was at least Dallas was getting the puck in their offensive zone and keeping it in there for a little while, where the Avalanche, and they wouldn't get a shot on goal, but at least they would have some cycles, and the Avalanche would dump and chase or get the puck into the zone, one pass and go in the other way. And if you're Dallas, you're feeling like, okay, now just the next step is just getting a nice pass where there's somebody that's open, that's got time and space, and fire a puck on net. Where the Avalanche is just get some offensive possession going here. They couldn't even do that. I felt like it got better as the game went on. But again, like you need to have more moments. You can't have just a couple that stick out in your mind, because like I said earlier, if you only have a couple, you have to connect on those couple. You are just really funneling yourself down into how many like good chances that you have, instead of just saying like, oh, we had a dozen of them and 3 of them worked out. In a game like this, that would have been enough. But you're not even getting that. You're not even getting those chances where there's so many that are just that's left out to just be like, that's another missed opportunity.
Well, you know what? I have a counter to that. I want to get to that on the other side.
Okay. Let's take a step back. We'll take a break, and obviously a lot more to get to with this game. Our subtext people, of course, our sound check as well, and we will talk about Gabe Landeskog. We have to. I was hoping to lead the show with that and following a victory, but no.
We're about to touch on it just a little bit.
Okay, we'll do that next. Let's hear from FanDuel. The NBA playoffs are here, and FanDuel is giving new customers an incredible way to get in on the action. And right now, when you join FanDuel and place your first $5 bet, you get $250 in bonus bets if that $5 bet wins. Catch me up on NBA playoffs, dude, because I just do not watch them. What is?
I know the Knicks won. I think it's tied at 1.
Okay.
But
that's tied at 1. All right. And I saw on the bottom ticker of the Avalanche game, like the Celtics were up 2-1. Aren't the Celtics just going to win it again, or no? Are they the best team again? I don't know. Somebody said the Cavaliers are a good team this year.
Cavaliers are an incredible team.
Okay. I don't buy it. So don't miss out. Head over to FanDuel.com right now. Claim your $250 in bonus bets after you bet $5 and win that $5 bet. Like I said before, just put it all on the Knicks. Why not? Do it. All right, let's keep whittling away at this loss by the Avalanche to Dallas in Game 3. Sees them go down to the series 2-1. You had something on the brain before we went to the break, so go for it.
Yeah, it goes back to the intensity thing, and you were talking about not taking advantage of your shots. What did Avalanche, everybody that wore any kind of burgundy and blue clothing, what were they freaking out about for about 3 hours before puck drop? The triumphant return of Gabe Landeskog.
Right.
It was everywhere. Everybody's tweeting it out. Everybody's making posts. The captain's back. The captain's back. They get interviews. You're hearing from the captain. You had this ESPN rolled out the fanfare. You got to watch his introductions. And then what do? 5 shots in the first period. You let the Dallas Stars have 15 shots, 14 shots. What else do you have to do? You're in the playoffs. Gabe Landeskog has come back. The injury depleted Dallas Stars. This is a perfect recipe for one of those patented Avalanche, just the third period from game 1, first period, game 3 is how it should have went. And there's no excuse for not getting fired up. Registering 5 shots in the first period with Landeskog back and that high emotion that we were talking about when Landy didn't play in game 2 on how it's going to be this game changer, Ball Arena is going to be rocking. Did you hear how quiet it was when that overtime winner went in? The Ball Arena factor, I'm perplexed on how the team just completely folded and ruined that whole moment.
We'll get to. I'll go deeper into the Landeskog stuff in a minute. But we got to bring up this power play because I just don't, for the life of me, cannot figure out how the Avalanche can. The one that everyone's going to go to is the double minor. Right at the end of the third, like 3.5 minutes basically carries over into the overtime period. And Dallas is being aggressive like they have been. And you saw the first possession following the overtime faceoff. Avs were trying something different, a set play, and it just went a little bit outside of the reach of Cale Makar, and that play was folded. So you saw, like, you could tell they were coming up with something different to give them a different look. But after that didn't happen, we went right back to what we've been doing this entire power play, which is nothing. And that's the frustrating thing for me is all the stuff that you were saying about all the guys that the Stars are down and you have 4 minutes of power play on them and it only looked good for the last 30 seconds. That was it. That is the golden opportunity to end this thing. End it. Impose your will. Put up a fight. But for the power play, for some reason, like I'll go back to 5-on-5. I thought this, honestly, Kyle, I thought this was an entertaining game. This was it was like a defensive, like watching football, defensive grind out football game where it's just difficult for both teams. And I was enjoying watching this game, except when it came to the power play. It's like they just completely just collapsed, completely collapsed. And when you have 4 minutes and you can't figure it out for 4 minutes straight, that's a problem. And look what Dallas did. Dallas had a power play, didn't look all that good, and they kill the penalty, and immediately Nathan MacKinnon commits a penalty, which was a penalty, people. You can sit here and complain about it all day long. It was a penalty. He tripped him. He interfered with him. You can take your pick with which one you want to call. It's a penalty. And then what did they do? What was it, like 10 seconds into that power play, they score. It was a good tip by Jamie Benn, and I cannot stand like giving that guy credit for anything. But they, you give them essentially the same 4 minutes and they figured it out. It's the difference.
Honestly, Chris, I'm looking at it in a different lens. I get you're looking at the beautiful spectacle of a defensive game. But there's a serious problem with the Colorado Avalanche in these playoffs. They have given you 10 good minutes so far in 3 games. And then that's the third period of game 1. The Avs are trying to be too cerebral. They're trying to outthink the Dallas Stars. And this goes back to the intensity thing. That's why Dallas is leading in this series. They are desperate. They are playing with passion. They're not going to outthink the Avs. They are playing with every ounce of energy and heart they have. And that's why it's becoming an overtime. That's why they are winning in overtime, because they are pouring everything out. The Avalanche aren't even trying. They're trying to outthink them. That's why it's exalted and a magnifying glass is put on it in the power play. It's because they're getting too cerebral. They're passing around, trying to get cute. They're not trying to make something happen. They're trying to figure out ways to make something happen. They're
Yeah.
trying to pass it around and, oh, this isn't working. Well, we'll cycle it over here. Or I know I can hold the puck here. And they do these little passes. You'll see Brock Nelson like try the in between the legs thing. Like they're getting too cute. They're trying to think if they look up at the scoreboard, realize, hey, we're trailing. We should not be in this position. We should be, hey, we're up 1-0. We need to really maximize this lead a little bit. They need to start
Huge.
playing engaged and with fire. And when you have the man advantage and you're trying to outthink and outcute the Dallas Stars, you're getting exposed. And that's why I keep preaching the intensity thing, because the Avalanche have only played that last little bit of the third period of game one has been their shining moment. Other than that, they have been just tepid, lukewarm at best.
You're right. And I don't want to look at it through like an Avalanche lens though, because I think a lot of that is because of Dallas.
It shouldn't have to be, because you have the better.
You're right, but it is. You're right. It shouldn't be. The Avalanche should be the aggressors here. But you're right in what you're saying. Is like they are. That's why I said it before. They're playing how Dallas wants them to play. And you're going into these zones and like you're not getting these offensive possessions that we're just so used to seeing from the Avalanche, of just like keeping the puck in the zone, tiring out the defense. Dallas is going for broke. They're going for it. And they're saying, we're going to force you to beat us. We're going to force you to make tape-to-tape passes because we know you can't do that if we're right up on you. And you maybe you'll get one. You're not going to get two. You're definitely not going to get three. And that's what it is right now. So you're right. You're right. They're playing. It's weird to say like they're playing to the I don't want to say like they're playing to the level of the Stars, because that would be they're playing good. But they're playing, like I said, they're playing the Dallas game plan. And the Dallas game plan is working. And instead of the Avalanche, because all what solves this problem is scoring goals. You're getting some opportunities, clearly. Well, I mean, by the end, you had more shots on goal than they did, I believe, right? So
No, it's tied at 28.
Oh, really? I thought they made it to 30. Okay. But that's what solves this problem, is putting pucks in the back of the net. And then you're forcing Dallas, because what Dallas is doing isn't working. But it is. You've gotten one goal. So they're not going to stop playing the way that they're playing, but you have to force them to change their style. And if you're not breaking through that wall, why would they change? That's what this is all about. You force them to change based on you playing well and doing things to blow up their game plan, and it hasn't worked for the Avs.
And that's the same thing is going on the other side of the Western bracket. Like the Kings, as the Avalanche lose this game, the Kings are playing with heart and passion and enjoying what they're doing, and they are destroying the Edmonton Oilers, wiping them out of the playoffs. That's what the Avalanche should be doing. They're not playing with heart and passion. They're treating it like, just another game. And they got to snap out of that mindset. They got to start playing with passion. That's what separates the Dallas Stars from the Avalanche. They care about it more. The Avalanche don't.
I'm not going to go down that road. I don't like. I mean, they're in playoff hockey. This is what they're bred for. Like, I don't want to say just because they're losing, like their heart's not in it. Like that's you're telling dudes that like do this for a living. Like, you like just go home. You might as well go home. I can't go down that road. Just because they lost, these two games. I don't feel that way. I just feel like they're not playing their game. So I can't connect to the things of a loss and their heart's not in it. Like I can't do that. I can't.
I'm not saying they're folding it up and they don't care about like playing the game.
Mm-hmm.
They know what they can do and they just are not hitting that gear.
Sure. That is true.
It is such a lackluster effort, and it's very just phoned in cruise control. And they have to start playing playoff hockey. This isn't regular season anymore. That's the difference.
And the funny thing is, like, I even told my wife after the second period, I'm like, they need another one. Like, yeah. I don't see this thing going 1-0. They need another one because it didn't have. We talk about it all the time when they have a lead and they're playing well in that game. You just feel like they got this one. did not feel that way with this game. And even after the first period when they were up 1-0, fluky things like that happen in the NHL where the team who really hasn't done much has the lead. That was the Avs in this one. That was definitely them after 1. And then it happened after 2. I wasn't so naive to be like, oh, it's happened for 2 periods, it'll happen for a third. No. Like you said, this is playoff hockey. The other team does not want to go down 2-1. So you just felt like you needed that third goal, or excuse me, that second goal, and it never came. So more to get to. Obviously, let's talk Gabe Landeskog, how we felt about his first game back in 27 years. And we'll get to our sound check and, of course, our subtext people. Do all that next. All right, let's hear from wonderful Pistachios. If you're looking for a snack that's both delicious and nutritious, crack into a good source of protein with wonderful Pistachios. It's one of the highest protein nuts. Each 1 ounce serving has 6 grams of protein, giving you over 10% of your daily value. Plus, they're packed with fiber and better for you unsaturated fats to help keep you feeling fuller for longer. I've said it before, Kyle is the shell man. I am the no shell man. And you are the, I always say chili lime, and that's wrong.
Jalapeno lime.
Jalapeno lime. I'll get it sooner or later. I just go with the good old fashioned roasted honey, no shell. Can't beat it. So get snackin and get crackin. I think they call that get crack-a-lackin', I believe. With the snack that packs a protein punch, visit wonderfulpistachios.com right now to learn more. All right. Obviously, Gabe Landeskog returns. First game back in over 1,000 days, and started right on the top line, which was cool to see, and then immediately goes down to the third line for most of the game. Played 13 minutes and 60 seconds, 18 shifts in total. Goose eggs across the board for him for everything. Didn't even register a shot on goal. 1 block, 6 hits he gave out. So, and it was 50% at the faceoff dot as well. So, it was the emotional arena that you thought it was going to be. Place was raucous. Just it was, 3 years in the making that he finally came back. You have to give the guy a ton of credit for sticking with. If you watch the documentary, you know what he had gone through. So it's just nice to see him come back. But now the question is, how do we feel like he did? 13 minutes, was out there, threw a hit on Mikko Rantanen in his first shift. So you get that. You get just the emotion of the moment. And then he starts on that top line, puck drops. 30 seconds in, he levels his old buddy Mikko Rantanen. And then from there, he was, I don't think it was terrible, but I think this was a feeling out game for him.
Yeah, and to quote the wise philosopher Michael Scott, "Happy birthday, Jesus! Sorry your party sucks." Like 3 years, you did all that work to come back, and everybody let you down. Sorry, Gabe. But no, this is kind of what I was anticipating, production wise, on that first game. He looked fine. The physicality was there. He was fighting in the boards for some pucks. Like I was not expecting him to get out there and start flirting with a hat trick, going on a Hattie watch right out of the gate. But no, this is what you want to see. This checked all the boxes for me. Glad to have him back. Definitely fired up the arena for about 5-10 minutes, and then reality struck.
I saw a quick quote before we hit record that he said he felt okay. So I'll dive deeper into that after we're done recording here, just to see more quotes from him. But if he continues to feel this way, he feels all right. You would assume he's going to be back, and just each game he gets under his belt, the more it might be asked of him. So that's kind of my question. Like, where do we go from here with him? You could hear it outside your windows. Put him in on the power play. The number 1 unit power play. Because I think people are just really kind of frustrated with Jonathan Drouin right now.
Yep.
And we were saying yesterday, you got to mix it up more in the net front. I thought the Avs did. But they did. I'm looking at their heat map over on Natural Stat Trick, and yeah, it's for all situations. Like you're getting a good amount of solid red right in front of the net. So, and he was a part of that. Like again, how he said when he went down to the AHL, like he played his game. He played in
Yep.
front of the net. He got that tip for when he got his goal. So he went back there with this game. So is that? Do you ramp it up a little bit more? Not like full bore, like, hey, we're gonna pump you with 20 minutes plus, but in those situations when you got to mix it up in the net front, do you just slot him in the first power play right now?
Yeah, because the next game is Saturday, and 0 plus 0 is 0. So if you swap out
So,
Landeskog and Drouin, I mean, what are you losing here? You're really you're going to break the power play? Come on, give him a shot. See what he can
yeah,
do.
I think the fact that you have guys like Ignatius and McKinnon who just will go wherever they want to go on the power play, and then if you have two guys with Nichushkin and Landeskog fighting for position, or even move him out to the bumper spot, you can move Nichushkin out to the bumper spot if you wanted to, or you have Lehkonen out there obviously as well. It's like you have, I just feel a more beefy power play if you put Landeskog out there if he's capable of doing that. The overall vibe, though, like we talked about that first period, how you said they only had 5 shots on goal. Like I as I'm watching it, I was really wondering if everybody like was just too invested in the moment and kind of took them out of the game to start the game rather than use that as like. And I'm sure they were using it for motivation, but was everybody just kind of like, even on the bench, where's Gabe? What's he doing? Or it was just too much watching of and too much concern of where Gabe Landeskog is and what he's doing. And maybe they lost the focus on, oh yeah, we're playing a game too. I don't know. I would hope not, but it could have been. You always say there's always puck watching going on. Was there Landeskog watching going on?
I don't know, because if you go back and look at game 2 and game 1, it has that same feel. It had a lot of that same feel. Just the effort and engagement. I don't think the Landy thing had a lot to do with it. I think you expected more because Landy's back, and you're getting more of the same, which is pretty much the story of the playoffs so far, is more of the same.
I was really thinking like, man, that first period was just ugly. They have a lead somehow. So all this Gabe Landeskog stuff going on. I was expecting a second period where it's like, okay, let's settle everything down. He got a period under his belt, and let's just get back to work here. And it never happened. It really didn't happen. It was just more of the grinding type of game for them. And so I maybe I'm wrong in thinking that it was a lot of Gabe Landeskog watching because they didn't come out with a different vibe in the second. So it was a tough one. It was a tough one for them. So
yeah, and honestly, if you missed the beginning of the game, you probably wouldn't even know Landeskog came back. If you were completely blind and had no idea to any of that.
Yeah. If you tuned in like with 18 minutes left in the first period, like
yeah, you just see you're up, you're like, oh, cool. And you have no idea what's going on, but ESPN would remind you every commercial break they played that for you. So
all right. Let's hear from some subtext people, and then we'll get to our soundtrack. We got Marie, who says that was brutal, and it kind of feels like we're screwed, but on the bright-ish side, with as off as the Avs were tonight, Dallas still barely managed to win. If the Avs can get back to their best game, Dallas will be in trouble. Yeah, I mean that's a big if, but she is right about that. It's not like with how, if you want to say like the Avs played like a terrible game, it's not like the Stars took advantage of it and they outscored you 5-1. Like they I don't want to say struggled to win this game, but they needed overtime to win this game, just like you attempted to. So it's a good point.
Well, again, they've led for 70 seconds and have a series lead.
Right.
So
take that for what it's worth. Kay says that was crushing. So many lost opportunities. I'm no longer confident we will win the series. That is all. Don't get down on it, Kay. Like this is a hockey series. Like I said in the very beginning, we all assumed this one was going the distance. And maybe if it's because how they're playing has made you change your tune on that, I kind of would reference what Marie just said. Like, it's not like Dallas is running away with these games. They needed 2 overtimes for their 2 victories, which overtime is basically a coin flip. Can be a coin flip.
I do side with the effort is concerning. It has lodged some concerns for me.
No, that's legit. I hear your concerns. What do we got here? Christina, another overtime loss is not a good look. Not capitalizing on the power play again. Also not a good look. Dallas still doesn't have a full team, and yet they continue to cause problems. Because here's the thing. They beat us in our own barn with our captain playing. This is giving Dallas all the momentum going forward. Doesn't matter if you played a good game. When it comes to the playoffs, only wins matter. Margins are getting tighter, and now the boys have to dig their way out of a hole. Not throwing in the towel yet, but this doesn't look good. P.S. Newlandy would wait for a home game to come back.
Yeah.
Well said.
Yeah, they're in a hole. Like that's
I think the thing that bothers me more than anything is what she referenced there, and we said it a few times. When Dallas doesn't have their huge players right now, Avalanche need to take advantage of that.
And they're not.
And they're not.
Those guys are coming back.
Maybe. We don't know, but that's hey, if I'm saying the Avalanche should be up 3-0 right now, maybe I'm kind of saying that because those guys are that good. I've said it pretty much every episode. Those guys are that good, and it's going to be that much more difficult to win this series if they do come back, which who knows if they are. We got Mayor Charles here, says, I guess playing with a 2-goal lead was too much to ask. Power play looks lame. Can't put games away. Feel like we're in big trouble if Heiskanen and Robertson were playing. Out game planned, out coached. McKinnon turning the puck over. Nobody seems to want to be the hero. That's an interesting point.
That's what I've been saying. Like nobody, it's very blasé. It's cerebral. Nobody wants to take over. Nobody has that intensity.
If the Lehkonen goal goes in, what are we talking about? Power play, for sure.
Yeah,
but are we talking about how it's a gritty win? Like we
talk about how good it was to have Landy back and a win for Landy,
right?
But I mean, you're still going to be pointing at, hey, that first period was ugly. 5 shots is not a great look,
right?
But
which is fine. Like you have bad periods,
but this is a long narrative. This isn't just a game thing. This is all 3 games. This that overtime goal. Cale Makar was on the back of the goal scorer. Like he was in the wrong spot, took the wrong assignment. He was in the it was a Lehkonen turnover or Drouin. That set it all up. Like nobody wants to be that hero, but the heroes that you call upon are the ones making a lot of the mistakes. Nathan McKinnon included, taking horrible turnovers. Yes, he's trying to shoot to compensate for that, but just bad mistakes, and nobody wants to take it and amend it. Like that's why Nuke's goal looks so great because wow, life. And that was it.
I mean, it did look good. That was a solid goal. So it's where we're at. Okay, let's get to our sound check and wrap this thing up. So this is where Kyle and I pick one song each that summarizes the most recent game. Put them up on a playlist over on Spotify, which you can follow along. Just search LOA Soundcheck. Volume number 4 is what these songs are on. So what do you got for this one, sir?
Going to my album whenever I get my feels. Going to Metallica. Their Saint Anger album.
Oh,
The Unnamed Feeling.
I thought you were just gonna go with Saint Anger. I think you have done Saint Anger before, though.
Yeah, I have.
Yeah,
Unnamed Feeling.
Okay.
Not just for it's the same feeling that it's starting to linger and carry over. It's that unnamed feeling, like it's that weird kind of similarity to last year. Just that you can't really put your finger on it. That's how the song starts out. It's been here. Been here before. Can't say I like it.
Yeah. All right. I will understand that. Accept it. The feels are what a lot of people are in right now, and I was gonna go. I had it picked out, and it was like no doubt, like I was gonna do this, and then the way the game went, I didn't want to let the anger get the most of me, and I stuck to my guns, and I'm gonna do it. with what I initially picked, because I was always going to go a Landeskog song specifically for the return. And maybe I was just assuming they were going to win this game. And maybe I was just assuming that for the last 3 years. Whenever he comes back, that game that he comes back in, the Avs are going to win that. So I never really thought of, what if they don't win that game? What am I going to pick if they lose? But I'm not going to do that, Kyle. I'm going to try to end this on a happy note. And how can you not be happy with the Mighty Mighty Boss Towns?
Oh,
and the song is called "He's Back." Simply, it's "He's Back." It's a beautiful song.
great song.
It's a fun song, so we'll go with that and try to keep the vibes happy, keep things light, because it's not over. It's 2-1. This is you just said, like, the narrative is long. I know you weren't talking about the full series; you were talking about these last couple of games, but that's true for the series as well. So if we have said this is going to be a 7-game series, let's stick with that and go back to all the things that we like to say about the Avalanche of, hey, like, they usually follow a loss with a good performance, although they didn't really do that right now. But would you really expect them to lose 3 games in a row? I can throw all of the things that make you feel good about it, and I'm going to roll with that until they're completely out of the playoffs. So let's see how it goes. So we're going to wrap this thing up here. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in, making it your first listen of the day. That is always appreciated. And he is Mr. Shaggy Von Doom, Kyle Sullivan. I am Chris Maselli. This is the Locked On Avalanche podcast. We'll see you guys later. And yeah, you just made it through another 24 hours where Sidney Crosby is that much closer to being with the Colorado Avalanche.
As power play coach.